Hello everyone, welcome back for more Let's Play Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut. And joining me is Yorkshire Raven.
Good morning to you, Governor.
So last we left off, the concierge here was refusing to even help us out because of many reasons. So now, but we do know where Con or Merlin or whatever he's going by is. We know where he's staying.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh, no. It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick. I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
Yoink! Come on, actually go up there. And now with that help,
Probably only about a handful of people actually like
The door was locked.
doesn't tell me which door is which.
The
here.
sign on the door read
we go.
21. Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key.
Okay. So yeah, here we are next door to, well, where Merlin Con over there is staying.
The cabinet was empty, but it smelt of onions. No kidding, it really did. A cabinet stood beside the bed.
So let's see if he is correct about adjoining features here. And just our luck, he left his window open.
Yeah, very lucky like that.
The bed was several times larger than the narrow cot I'd been given at the place I was staying. The cabinet had no drawers, just a single door. The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed. The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits.
Darn.
It was the battered leather briefcase I'd seen Plantar carrying just before he died. I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
No sense to leave that laying out. And nothing else in this room to look at except the wardrobe.
The closet was a solid, impressive piece of antique furniture.
You know,
The closet was a solid, impressive piece of antique furniture.
well, sadly, there's nothing in here. Let's try to leave through the door.
It was Khan. I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom. As Khan opened the wardrobe, I was sure I was dead. But he grabbed his pants quickly and didn't even see me. I didn't usually spy on men getting changed. But this guy was a killer, and I didn't want any surprises. He left his checkered pants on the bed.
Well, that was convenient.
Really?
They look kind of wet.
They've definitely seen better days.
Yeah.
I had that kind of feeling you only get from searching still warm pants. The pocket was empty. There was nothing in the pocket. I flipped the pants over. I found an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. But as I pulled it from the pocket, a strong thread came with it. A thread with a metal tag on the end.
Huh.
The matchbook bore a pattern of swirling color and the words, Club Alamut. The matchbook... I pulled on the metal tag and the thread came out of the pants. It was like pulling out a ripcord. I found nothing in the pocket. I turned the pants over again.
Well, I think that opened up another pocket up here.
I searched the pocket gingerly and found a pass card. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Oh, maybe that's his real name.
I wondered if the guy was colorblind. There was nothing in the pocket. The
I
pocket was
mean, with
empty.
these pants, color blindness is not an explanation.
Oh.
I turned the pants over again. The pocket was empty. I found nothing in the pocket.
Okay, I think that's all we can get out of the pants. I'm pretty sure that's all we can get out of the pants. And I'm pretty sure this game would stop you if you hadn't actually seen everything in that area.
What now, monsieur?
Don't you notice you don't have a key anymore? Just wondering. No? Okay.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that. A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive. Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little hook to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
No, monsieur. The hotel is regularly serviced by an exorcist. If we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
I suppose you want the key back.
Not spécialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation, I won't stop you.
So at least we can continue to get back into that room when we need to. However, we really need to get a hold of whatever this guy was storing in this place. So once again, we're going to enlist the help of our dear Lady Piermont.
Hi,
Well,
ma'am.
he's got nothing better to do.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
We're using you again.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George!
Never underestimate the power of a Karen.
Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
Shoot
You
him.
know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I
Goddamn
would have done
upper
without
class.
you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Yes, save.
Yep. So, I will also save, just because. But yes, safe in Nico's apartment that anyone at any point in time can just kind of walk into. Yeah, that's completely and totally safe, isn't it?
Yeah, but admittedly he doesn't know this.
Oh, he knows anyone can just push their way in.
Yeah?
But at any rate, let's try to go that way. Let's try to get
I
back
couldn't
there.
leave the hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
Huh. So we need to find another way down, do we? So, in a little bit of puzzle solving here. Now, we are all the way up here, so we cannot climb down from here, but we can send the manuscript down.
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
When
I'd be surprised if it just blew away instead.
That'd be a funny way for this to work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A bird comes by and picks it up, and we have to chase the bird.
Oh, yeah.
Happens enough to Spider-Man.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Flap and Guido.
A delightful pair.
So
If the
luckily,
manuscript was what Flap and
no
Guido were
birds,
after, they were going to be
no
disappointed.
rats. This plan just actually happened to work.
I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out.
And this game calls itself a punch and click.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Come in, Josh.
I mean, I think we've said it before, but this game does seem to go with realistic logic for most things that it actually puts in front of you.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, Josh.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
You know, if you're trying to get on her good side, this ain't the way, man. Just saying.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
If he didn't smoke, I wonder what he did with the cigarettes.
I found this in the
Pile
killer's
of them
room.
somewhere.
What is it? A credit card?
ID. Thomas Merlin of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue, a name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir.
I mean, the killer did go by there. But what we really need to click on and show her...
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantark?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades.
This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping.
Safe, you say?
Truly safe.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
Or just use barrels to sit on. I don't think he's living in that barrel.
A knight with a crystal ball. Now, there's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
George has a useful skill.
Stock over.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
The crocodile was the funniest part of Peter Pan. Maybe just me. I don't know.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse. Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krone Museum. I'll give you the address.
Let's get this.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Okay.
There's a woman looking at, but the reflection has... There's a... Between them, a knight with the night scroll through my...
Look there, 2 guys on the...
Okay.
Are you sure you've never heard of Thomas Merlin?
Positive.
I'm trying to make sure we exhaust
Hey, Nico,
all
shake
the
hands with me.
conversation
No
here.
chance, Buster.
Aw. And just clicking on the scroll again will just
I
bring
have
up
to go.
Okay.
bring up the
Don't forget to look for Lobinor at the
close-up
Kron
of it.
Museum.
And now with the new address in our inventory, well, knowledge base anyway, I think this marks a good stopping spot. When we come back, we will head towards Musikgrün. But that's for next time. So until then, take care everyone.
Later, folks.